Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Aquarius be affected by the September 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. No, okay. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Now at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the star, Aquarius. That is us. We're represented by the star. In the major arcana, we're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. So we're coming through, greatly affected by this moon and the fool. We're starting a journey. This moon really does call to us, and that makes perfect sense. You know, if we're born on the cusp of Pisces, and this full moon is in Pisces, there's going to be an intense draw to it, but we're coming out of a cycle of the Aquarius full moon. And now we're entering into the cycle of Pisces, which still calls to the spiritual awakening part that is such an intrinsic part of who we are and the road that we're headed on. So that's going to be really powerful, the way that this moon is leading us forward. It leads us right here to the moon, which in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this card here, the moon, is equivalent to the Empress. So not only is this moon going to be calling to us, very much connected with us, but it's also bringing us to this place where we claim a throne we forgot we had. We claim a power of voice we didn't know could be ours. And it moves us now to the craftsman of air. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for sneezing. It moves us from the moon to the craftsman of air. So this moon is intense for us, and as we are represented by the air in the minor arcana, we are going to see that this moon helps us create, helps us cultivate, helps us to move forward. And it really is a time where we start to see things, and that very much aligns with the power of this moon and also the planetary alignments of this time. We then have Sagittarius energy with Temperance right here. If we have Sagittarius within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through quite powerfully at this time at our heart. And then we have Gemini, which is, you know, it's very funny because Sagittarius and Gemini are sister signs. So we have this way that things kind of work off each other, push each other forward, aggravate each other, but also, guide each other like sisters do. So you have Gemini energy right here. So if you have Gemini within your natal chart, that's also coming through very powerfully within your heart. We then have the Knight of Swords. I mean, this is your time, Aquarius. There's no joke about it. The Knight of Swords, like cutting through doubts and fears, moving things forward. You're very much going to be the White Knight, the hero of the story in the public arena. It's like, I'm going after this. I have, these powerful intentions that are aligned with my essence, with my being, with what I desire. And it leads us to justice. Now, justice is also air sign energy, so it is amplified by the Knight of Swords, but things falling into place. It's justice coming in, and not justice being, the letter of the law, a white page, black print, everything being spelt out, though that would be nice. Justice is the sense of balance for ourselves, the sense of discernment, the sense of power, the sense of insight, the sense of understanding. Now, it moves us to this full moon in Pisces on the 20th of September. And the full moon in Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and this brings beauty into the spiritual realm, or beauty from the spiritual realm really starts to guide us forward. It also, Neptune has sway over our dreams. So we're going to find that this moon impacts us in our dreams. We start to get messages, we start to see things more clearly. We're like, wow, I had really vivid dreams, or I feel like I came to some sort of revelation within my dreams. That's going to be from the power of Neptune in Pisces. This also is a time where we could want to slip away from our troubles on this earthly plane. So we do have to be mindful of any addictions that we might have, any negative coping mechanisms that we have developed, where it's like life gets tough and we're like, that's it, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to slip into that dreamlike state that Neptune brings us, that Pisces makes so comfortable for us, and not deal with all the problems that are going on. So do be mindful of that. That is something to be warned about. This is also when we are our most spiritual and our most compassionate. So we also want to understand that this is a time where our boundaries are going to be the thinnest, because we're going to think, I just have to help everybody. I just have to, pick up everybody, move everything forward, be that person for everyone. And we need better boundaries, because the way that we can be that person for everyone is if we make really clear, really intense boundaries. And we say, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm not doing, this is what needs to be done, this is what doesn't need to be done, this is how I can help, and this is how I can't. And we have to make sure that we don't lose ourselves during this time. We also have to make sure that we do energy cleanses. Just cleansing away negative energy, standing outside, going outside into nature is a great way. Epsom salt baths is another great way. We can do cold showers to, kind of jolt us very much into the present if we need something very physical for us. And it could be the Wim Hof method, where you end with a cold shower for 30 seconds, 2 minutes, wherever you are on that scale, on that spectrum. Now, the full moon always brings our family, our friends, and close relationships into focus. Now, this could be a time where we're rethinking our relationships with people. We're sitting there like, I don't really like that person, or wow, I really love it when that person's around. So that's going to become more clear to us during this time. And because the sun is opposite the moon, it brings opposing factors into focus. So it's going to be our wants and our needs. It's going to be everybody else's wants and our wants, everybody else's needs and our needs. And we're going to find that this can be very energy draining, because we just want everything to be perfectly aligned, and nothing is perfectly aligned during this time, because again, with the sun being opposite the moon, everything is like opposite. So here it's like being able to step into our own power, our own understanding, our own sense of self, and saying, this is what I need, this is what I want. I'm looking at everybody else's wants and needs, I'm letting them live their life, and I'm living mine. And I'm trying to do so in the most harmonious, powerful way possible. Now, it can be that we need some help from homeopathy. It can be that we need some help from meditation, just not to let everybody bother us and aggravate us and release a feeling of being overwhelmed, especially if we find that we take on more and more and more, especially during this moon. But just in life in general, Aquarius, that's one of our personality traits, that we tend to take on more. And so we have to step back from that. This is also a time with the full moon always where our intuition and our emotional awareness is at its peak. So really do, embrace that. Now, I was going to say, okay, we're done. We're not. We're just getting started. Mercury is going to be trine Jupiter, which is absolutely amazing. It really, really is. So when it says balance the spiritual and the practical, we have this beautiful energy of Mercury trine Jupiter coming in. It brings optimism, generosity, good luck, and good news, and just absolute the sense of prosperity, the sense of like, I can really achieve, I can really move forward in astounding ways. Our instincts are on point, so that's going to be something that's really great for us. We see clearly what we want for our future, which is perfect for networking and socializing, or just even for starting new projects, starting new things, and saying this needs a voice, or this is a place that I can really excel at, or what, I've always wanted to try doing XYZ, why not? And as we embrace this, we then have Mercury squared Pluto come into play, which is a little bit of a more complicated energy because it has a more difficult influence than Mercury trine Jupiter. We'll be deep thinkers during this time, which is a great thing. And this is great for research and work and really figuring things out and diving deep and seeing what others don't. But we're also only going to really want really intense conversations, really intense interactions. And that's not always going to be good for our psyche, especially when we have these thin boundaries that the moon in Pluto brings us. Moon in Pisces, there we go. The moon in Pisces brings us. And this is with this energy and us wanting to dive deeper and deeper and deeper, we can find that we fall down a rabbit hole, and we need to kind of pull back from that. We need to pull back from diving too deep, draining our energy, draining our purpose, draining our focus. Now with Jupiter semi-sextile Pluto, this helps soften the energy of Mercury squared Pluto and align us to the success of Mercury trine Jupiter. This brings powerful spiritual and personal growth. This brings the ability to create wealth and prosperity and see ourselves move forward professionally. So that is going to be a really great thing. This moon is complicated, but enchanting. And we kind of like that. We like that in life. We like the enchanting, complicated power that moves us forward. It then brings us to the new moon in Libra, which I will be making a separate video on just to see how this new moon interacts with us completely. And the new moon says a new romantic cycle begins. And as we dive into this new romantic cycle, as we dive into our hearts and our passions and our desires, balance is going to be a real big part of what we're calling forward and what we fall in love with. Now, this new moon is on the 6th of October. On the 20th of October, we have the full moon in Aries. And this says a fiery climax approaches. It's intense, it's passionate, it's powerful, it's a sense of I'm stepping out of finding my alignment, finding my harmony, finding my balance, and I'm stepping into my power, my determination, my focus, my insight, my ideas. It brings us to us, Aquarius, and stepping into ourselves, holding space for ourselves, which I always thought was such a interesting thing to say, like, oh, I'm holding space for me. And yeah, and kind of thought it was a bit silly, but now I see it's not. It's being able to say, I'm not coming to this with judgment. I'm not coming to this with expectations. I'm coming to this for you to be you and let yourself shine. And that's what we're coming to this moon with, this expectation of being able to shine as an individual, as a powerful person, as a person of hopes and dreams and intentions and desires. And with the star is what? But a sun that is farther away. And so here we're going to find that we reflect the power of both the moon and the sun. The sun reflects off the moon. The sun is the day. The sun is the active. The moon is the quiet. The moon is the intentional. The more introspective. And we're going to find that because our power comes forward and is a dimmed down reflection of the light of somebody's sun, we're going to see that our power guides us in a way that is in perfect alignment with what the moon has to bring. And we can find that every single time, Aquarius, if we really step into our own selves, really make sure to hold space for what we love and what we want and who we are and how we're moving forward. And it brings us to this place of wishes. It brings us to the place of our wishes being seen, our wishes being heard by divinity, by our angels, by our spirit guides, to open up the doors, to say, but this is me. And this gives us what we need, not what we want. And that can always be a bit complicated. We can find that we usually get what we need, but not necessarily what we want. And so that is a part of the Aquarius, complexity. That's the part of the complexity of being you. And as we embrace this, as we say, okay, I know that I'm being led forward towards what I need within my life, guided towards something greater, something powerful, something, something beautiful. It leads us onto that fool's journey. And that fool's journey is the hero's journey of life. The hero's journey is, as we evolve, as we obtain our goals and our desires, and as we find ourselves more and more and more, as we grow older, it is a place where people think, well, this is foolish. And it kind of makes sense if you look at it as a hero only becomes a hero when they are older, when they are wise, when they have lived and failed and failed and and lost. Then you could say the hero's journey is that of age and wisdom and power of intuition and self. And yet we tend to think that all the heroes are young. And yet, your car insurance is at a premium until you're 25, especially as a man. So here, there is a sense of, let me walk forward. Let me walk forward, and others might think I'm a fool because they don't see the power of my worth. They don't see the wisdom in my voice. They don't see the beauty that is me, but I do. And I'm falling into alignment with this. It can be the alignment of the wisdom of our ancestors. It can be the alignment of the wisdom of meditation and spirituality and opening up doors and embracing different, mythologies, religions, understandings that really speak to us and moving forward in that way. And as we move forward in that way, we embrace the hero's journey. Because every single person who goes on that hero's journey, if we want to, equate it back to Hercules or who else, Siddhartha or even Perseus, we can sit there and say they were all thought as fools first, and then their worth was seen. And that's what we're going through here. It's like, okay, people might think I'm foolish, but is this aligning with me? Now we have to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in financial hardships or pains or difficulties, and we're not, doing something that isn't returning on investment and putting all our self into that without having, a firm foundation. That's going to be important. But as we see ourselves evolving, as we see ourselves becoming, we step further and further away from what is considered the mainstream and step more readily into ourselves. And as we do this, the moon calls to us. As we do this, we claim a throne we never knew we lost. And we claim a voice we never knew we had. It's the beauty of a song. So when we say the lone wolf, the lone wolf is the terrified wolf. The lone wolf is the one without a pack, without protection, is living opposite to its complete and utter nature. A person without their voice, without that alignment with themselves, without the people to connect with, or, spirit and our angels and divinity to align ourselves with. That is a person living outside of what they were born to be. And so here we're aligning with our song and our voice and our instincts and our understanding. And we're seeing ourselves become more and more and more of what we truly want to be, of how we would truly want to move forward. A part of us is singing and a part of us is listening to what that song is about, to what it is that we're calling out for. And it brings us to the craftsman of air. All of a sudden, we start to put things together that we hadn't seen the connection of before. We start to think, and because we are such deep thinkers at this time, we start to question, we start to look at things at different angles. We start to say, oh, but this, oh, but that, and oh my gosh, I hadn't seen this before. And as everything comes together, we see ourselves aligning with our passion and with our power. This is going to be a fantastic time for our inner selves. I mean, we're singing a song that aligns us with our purpose, with ourselves, and we're diving deep. We have to make sure that we don't dive so deep that it drains our energy or it puts toxic energy in us, depending on what we're diving down into, what we're researching, what we're looking at. Even if it's just all of a sudden we start watching, I know I did this a little while ago, all this true crime stuff, and just having your energy drained, just having yourself feeling sick and tired and out of alignment because what you're putting into your mind isn't feeding you, isn't nurturing you, isn't building you up. With the craftsman of air, we start to craft our voice. We start to see our mind moving us forward. We start to look at things in a very different way, in a very passionate way, in a very open and honest way. And it brings us to temperance as we're creating this, as we're creating this magic, this sense of, everything coming together. We find this sense of balance. We go deeper and deeper into the spiritual, and we find this sense of balance within our hearts. And that's going to be so important for us to say, I'm embracing what I love. I'm embracing what I need. I'm embracing my heart, my soul, my passion, and myself. As I'm pouring from one cup to another, as I'm diving deeper and deeper into the well of who I am, I'm finding these new layers. I'm finding these new concoctions, things that bring me comfort, bring me joy, bring me a sense of a passion and beauty and alignment with myself. It leads us to our lover. It leads us to falling in love with life. It leads us to a sense of understanding what we greatly desire within ourselves, within our beauty, our instincts, our desires. The lovers say, let me love. Let me bring the love back into my life. And as we do this, we use this love to start to create, to start to cultivate what we deeply desire. We find ourselves being blessed, but we also find ourselves craving passion, craving, this aliveness. And it doesn't mean that it has to be romantic love. What it means is that we are having to, during this time, fall in love with our lives and ourselves and our desires again. It brings us to the Knight of Swords. In the public arena, we're not going to be held back. We're not going to be anybody's fool, and we are pushing ourselves forward. Now, we have to be mindful of just charging forward, saying, that's it, I'm going after it, nobody's going to stop me, nothing's going to, get in my way, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed. With the Knight of Swords, we're cutting through our doubts and our fears. We're slaying the demons that have held us back. We're looking at things and saying, if not now, then when? If not me, then who? Why can't I move forward? We're looking at the times of stagnation, the times we were stuck, the times we spoke illy of ourselves. And we're saying, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Now it's time for me to move forward. Now it's time for me to go after. It's time for me to leave behind that which had denied me everything. And it leads us to justice. We are starting to be discerning about the energy we let into our lives. We're starting to be discerning about the people we let into our lives, the foods, the drinks, the way that we're balancing ourselves, aligning ourselves, and guiding us forward is so powerful and so beautiful. We're going to see that things aren't always in the alignment that we want, right? Because opposing factors come in, because we dive a little bit too deeply into things, because we can wish for dreams instead of reality. All those things can come into play, but we're balancing them. We're finding this harmony during this time. We're being just to ourselves. We're letting ourselves be not perfect, and we're letting ourselves embrace something that is extraordinary, something that is powerful, something that is beautiful, and it is our voice and our instinct and a sense of harmony and a sense of also fair play. We're going to look at things and say, it has to be just, it has to be fair, and this is the way I want to move it forward. Now let us see what, and that's actually going to be something, justice, that people really respect about you during this time here, Aquarius, that you are just. They're going to be like, you know what? Aquarius will do right by me. Aquarius, not that you will give them special favors, but that you will be just. And they'll be like, oh, okay, I can see that. That's fair. If you come up against people who aren't fair during this time, that's actually going to be something that's really hard for you. And you're going to want to react really swiftly. It'd be like almost like cut off the infected limb type of thing, especially at work. You'll be like, no, I don't want to work with this person, or I don't want this to be going on. You will stop. We have to step back just a little bit because we can be a little bit too fierce, but we also have to stand to our convictions. So just having that balance come forward and letting people know these are the rules, this is how we're moving forward, this is what we want, this is what I desire, period, end of discussion. And it doesn't mean that we have to be in a position of power. It can be that we are, a sales clerk or, whatever, and we're just showing that initiative, that insight, that determination. And that's going to be really important for us during this time. It's also going to be really respected. All right, let's see what the moon has to say for ourselves. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So at our root is beauty. Nothing is set in stone. And that's going to be the beautiful thing about this time for us and about life for us, is that nothing is set in stone. Nothing has to be one certain way. We're embracing this malleability of existence, this intricacy of being, this beautiful dance of who we are and who we're becoming. And we're seeing beauty in the most unlikely of places. And it's coming to us. It's just going to be like revelations, one after the other. It then leads us to our inner self and its growth. A personal issue reaches resolution. So it's through our own growth as an individual, into our power, into our understanding, into our wisdom, that a personal issue is resolved. That we step into our power, but also we step into our healing. In our hearts, attraction. The end of a tough cycle is approaching. And this comes, it's a supermoon here that's being shown. And it's saying here that we are attracting the end of a tough cycle. We are attracting the balance and the love and the passion for our lives and what we want. And it's by this action, it's by, setting down these boundaries and these dreams and this beauty for ourselves, that we open up a door that really is quite intricate and beautiful. That we say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with the negativity. I'm done with the hurt. I'm done with the pain. I'm done with the endless chaos. It moves us then to faith in the public arena. The answers you need are coming. And that's what we're stepping into, a time of faith. The time that what we need is coming to us. The time that, yes, it's not going to happen if we sit back, just eat chips all day. We have to be active. We have to be assertive. We have to be moving forward. But we have faith in the answers, and we have faith in the power and the passion of us. Now let us see the subconscious message from the moon, which is resistance. You've resisted being crushed. Confidence is your key to success. During this time, you have resisted. You have grown through obstacles, through heartbreak, through pain, through disappointment. Confidence is your key to success. Confidence is going to absolutely change you. And it's not cockiness. It's not, arrogance. It's saying, I'm worth it. I'm worth something. I am powerful and beautiful and intense. And I'm embracing that confidence to embrace my whole entire life. It then leads us to the subconscious energy to be mindful of during this time, which is the Prince of Cups. Be mindful of moving slowly and steadily only towards emotions, without any logical or real world guidance forward. So we're going to have to be very mindful of our emotions just wanting to kind of hijack the whole entire situation. We also have to be very mindful of other people's emotions wanting to hijack the whole entire situation, and them just coming to us and kind of dumping on us all this intensity, all this hurt, all this pain, and us having to almost fight their overwhelming emotional state. It then moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is the I am presence, which is my favorite chakra card. It's the crown chakra, and it's saying, what am I crowning myself with? What do I say that I am? I am powerful, I am brilliant, I am successful, I am determined, I am focused, I am, in love with my life, I am happy, I am at peace. Or do we say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not there yet. And why I say the negative as well as the positive, and I know people say, Dane, only say the positive, is because the negative is valid. So often I hear people say the positive, and I'm right there with them. I'm like, yes, that's me. And then they say the negative. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. Well, if I'm honest, okay, yeah, I say that to myself sometimes. So it's the energy that we're crowning ourselves with. And we have to be aware of that energy, of that crown that we're wearing, of the weight that we're putting on ourselves, right? How heavy is the burden that we're carrying? How heavy is the crown that we are wearing? Our subconscious rooted message is the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is changing. We're entering into a new season. We can feel like we're on a roller coaster ride during this time. Understand it, embrace it, but move with the change. It's like the moon. The moon is constantly changing. During this time, we're going to see that change is a powerful ally to us. Our subconscious inner self is the Two of Earth. Protection, balance, harmony, love. The mama bear and the baby bear. They both need each other. And there's this beautiful sense of coming together, of harmony, of really seeing what's important and releasing what is not. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self. And that's justice coming through again. Libra energy, once again. And it's cutting through doubts and fears and negativity. It's saying, this is what I need, and this is what I want, and this is what I desire, and this is who I am. It's being just to ourselves and not worrying all the time about the justice for everybody else. It's being just and it's being fair. Yes, that is going to be something that we're definitely going to be known for during this time. But it's not, it's not doing it at the expense of ourselves. It's being just and fair to us first. And then letting that justice, letting that sense of fair play trickle into the rest of the world, trickle into the rest of our world. Our subconscious public message, public arena self is the Knight of Wands. This is our passion and our fire and our determination. The Knight of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, connecting us with the full moon in Aries on the 20th of October. And what we're going to see here is that we are fighting to let our light shine through, to let our passion guide us, to let ourselves be in alignment with who we are and where we want to be, and that fire that gets us out of bed in the morning, that warms us, that nourishes us, that guides us. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the beauty and the power of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius, and may you have a blessed moon.